Well, hello everyone. So I am bored and I thought I'd make a video, and guess what? Found my camera. So, better quality. Um and this video is going to be about a subject, but it's also going to be kind of rambly. Now, understand that, I'm not well educated in this, I'm not an expert. These are just my opinions. So, a few of the YouTubers I follow, are quite into film, which is good. It's really good to be into the things that you enjoy. And not to say that I hate movies or whatever, I have quite a list of movies that I love. I haven't really been into it. I don't know a lot of actors and actresses and such and all that good stuff. But when I enjoy a film, I enjoy it. That's pretty much, I'm pretty simple that way. But, watching their channels and everything, it's gotten me to look a little bit more into stuff. Some of these people I have found through other YouTubers, a lot of them are booktubers, or in some ways booktubers. And, I've always been a reader since I was young, and not professionally, but I consider myself a writer. And that's kind of why I've gotten more into movies now, I suppose. I mean, I've watched television. I'm pretty much a sitcom person, or some dramas once in a while too. But as I explore my own writing more, I've gotten interested in television, film, to some degree, theater a little bit. Because even though you're not reading it, on a page and everything, somebody had to write those. They had to write that show, that episode you're watching. They had to write that movie. They had to write that play. So, and what this video basically is about is some of the problems I have with some of them. And these are just my own opinion. This is just my own opinion. But I've noticed some people in BookTube and even for movie reviews and such things have brought these up. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Again, these are just my own opinions. And if you can find movies or shows like that's the opposite of what I'm talking about, please let me know, because I would like to expand my viewing a little bit, or more, whatever I have time for. So I'm gonna chat, and you're gonna listen to me chat while I fold clothes, because my clothes need to be clean, and I have a kid. So laundry. When it's your day off, you do laundry. So one of my problem is love interest. Now, you can blame books for this too, which they have too much of that in there. But the problem is sometimes I notice a lot of movies are only made to kind of cash in on trends. And you really can't deny that. I mean, The Giver, okay? Now, granted, I have not seen the movie, so I'm not going to rag on it too much. But from what I've heard, I really don't want to see it. Okay, before The Hunger Games, before Divergent, before a lot of the popular teen dystopians, like I think there's one called Matched, and then there's Delirium, which is on my TBR. The Giver came out sometime in the 90s, so it's been a while since that book has been out. But now, since some of these books that I've mentioned have been turned into movies, now they decide to make it. And here's the thing, there really was no love interest in that story. It was about a 12-year-old. Basically, I mean, he was around the age of 12. And the story is about, choices and the beauty of having individual freedom. And yeah, it just feels like they made it because that dystopian is a trend now, and now, I've heard they're supposed to be kissing or whatever in there. Now you bring in a love interest to grab the teenagers, but for people like us, people like me who read it in the 9th grade, and people older than me who were teenagers already in the early 90s where I was a child, who have read that book. Some people have been waiting like 20 something years now for that to be made into a film. And it's just watching it, the trailers and everything, it's like, if it's ever on TV I might catch it, but it's not something I would seek out. And it just seems like there always has to be a love interest in things. And like I said, I'm not dismissing solely movies because books do it too, but it seems like even when it's not in an original story, they have to bring one in. Like, I've watched movies, like, I'm really into comedy. Like, I like a lot of funny stuff. It may be because of I call it more of a self-diagnosed depression in a way. I've been through a lot of stuff and I feel down a lot. So I will put on a funny movie or South Park or Family Guy and stuff like that and just kind of take my mind away from all the negativity and just laugh a little. But with certain movies that are more comedy based, and I've noticed that a lot of the original love interests don't return in the sequels, especially when it's like live action movies, not so much cartoons, but they always have to have a new girl. An example of a movie that's not technically comedy, more action, although it has this funny moment, would be Transformers. I heard different reasons why Megan Fox left. One reason being, I'm not folding my clothes here, that she felt like objectified and stuff. And which I agree, she's there to act, not be a model, or I can't either. But when she left, they just brought in a new girl. And it's like, why not just say they just broke up? Or say she's out of the country. There's certain reasons that you just can't have her in the movie. Make up something. Don't just bring in a new girl. Why? Can Sam not do stuff on his own? And that's the other thing. That is the other thing that kind of ties into the relationships in rom-com and everything, which is a word I just discovered because I had no idea that rom-com was a thing. It's supposed to be romantic comedy. Is that it's not just romantic comedy either, but there's a lot of those. There's shit like Twilight, which again comes from the book. So book and movie kind of sucks on this. Is that a girl's whole world is this guy, and she can't live without him. But then again, there's the guy who will give up his friends and everything to make a girl happy, and one has to change the other. That's kind of a trope in, I suppose, both book and movie, and it's just annoying in the story in general. And here's the thing, I'm not going to speak over people or speak for people's experiences, but why is it always girl, has undying love for guy, and guy gives up everything for girl? Like, the roles can't be reversed, or that, heterosexual people are the only people that exist in relationships. And like I said, I'm not going to speak over people for their experiences because I have not experienced that. But, there is already a lot of oppression in the world. But sometimes we just have so much negativity. It's like, why can't any other kinds of people besides straight, for the most part white, but usually mostly straight, no matter what the ethnicity is, why only them? Why can't anybody else have a happy movie? It doesn't mean that you can't make movies about issues and everything, but why do these people have to turn on a movie that deals with them and it always be about something negative? And I could be wrong for saying that, but it's like me as a woman, I can speak from that experience. If everything was solely about sexism and everything else, and there was never a happy movie involving women, it would seem kind of down. And yeah, there's that. And there's also the other thing of changing characters and how they look and their description and everything, or change it from the original description. Now, if you're writing a script, from scratch or whatever, that's your own creation. But when you're going from book to movie, sometimes it's a big deal, sometimes it's not. It's just that some of those things kind of become, like trademarks and iconic and everything else. Take Dorothy's shoes in The Wizard of Oz. Now, this here is a minor problem. I'm going to give you an example of a minor problem. In the book, her shoes are not red. They are, in fact, silver. But it just looked better on the actress to have red ones. So that's an example of a small one. A larger problem would be things like race, for example. Take the Hunger Games. In the book, Katniss is described, from my memory here, as having olive skin and dark hair. I'm pretty sure it was black. So now, keep in mind that there are people who are considered white or Caucasian that do have olive skin. Some people who are Italian or maybe Greek, around those areas. So, no one's saying that Katniss can't be of that race, but the thing is, from my knowledge, when they went for the movie auditions, only Caucasian girls were allowed to audition for the part of Katniss. Now, like I said, there are different types of white nationalities that she could be, but she could have also been biracial or mixed race. I mean, she doesn't even have to be two. She could be, this is the future, She could be maybe 3 different nationalities or races. She could have been some type of Hispanic or Latino. She could have been some type of Asian. She could have even been, Native American, Indigenous, whichever of those terms you want to use. And it's not just Jennifer Lawrence, but, other people too. For example, again, it's been over a year since I've read the book, but I'm pretty sure her mom and her sister were described as blonde, which again, that's, I've seen it predominantly in Europeans, but that doesn't mean blonde only exists in there. But still, going back to the fact that she could have been mixed. So what if they make her mom white? Because the way she describes her, I would think of somebody like German or Swedish ethnicity or something like that. But what about her father? Her father was supposed to be the one, from what I remember, where she got her olive skin tone and everything. So he could have been, he could have been like African American or Native American. Hell, he could have been mixed race himself, you know? And really, they showed her father for like 10 seconds. I mean, it's just, they probably could have mixed it up a little bit. And I see people's issues on that when you have a character who is described in a way where she could be anything. And, you know, watching the movies, I think Jennifer did a fantastic job, but it's so really, really BS that, you know, and it's unfair that only certain people were allowed to audition for a character that really could have been anything. And, you know, they didn't get the opportunity to show their talent in bringing this character to life. And, you know, that kind of happens a lot. And the more I'm watching things, the more I'm listening to people online and reading material, original material that these things are based off, and seeing, oh, this person is described as this, this, and this, but only the opposite kind of person is allowed to, you know, bring their vision of the character. It's mean, and it's unfair, and it's unjust. It's just on everything. You know, on everything that's good. Yeah, so that is just basically my little rant. Don't worry, I'm going to be doing this, I think now that I've enjoyed ranting a little bit, I'll admit that. I would definitely be doing that more about books, which, now that I've talked about it a little bit in here, I might repeat a couple things, but I guess that's just how it has to go. And of course, music and other things. But yeah, there are some things that now that I'm getting more into it, that I'm just noticing. It's not to say that it's all like this, or nothing's worth watching, or everything is problematic. It's just me saying that yes, it exists, and yes, it is a problem. Sometimes it's very serious, sometimes it's just annoying, but, you know, changing things up a little bit would be good. So, yeah, in case you're wondering, which you're probably not, I folded my clothes. So, yeah, woohoo for me for video and laundry. I can multitask. That's maybe because I've had like 2 coffees. So, oh, one day in the future, perhaps when I move, I would do a video on my mug collection, because I've seen that and I just love those videos, because I love mugs, I love coffee, and I love watching people's mug collections. So yeah, I have like 40 of them now. So yeah, I think a fun little video I'm going to do is a display of my mugs, which it'll probably be like a month or 2 from now, but still, you will get to see all of my amazing mugs. So, thank you for watching this. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Tell me your thoughts. Give me suggestions. And I will see you later. Bye.